So as a non-binary person, I get asked this question a lot. So how do you know if you're feeling gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia? So in today's video, I am going to be talking about gender dysphoria versus body dysmorphia. I'm going to be going into what each one is, what it means, what are a couple signs that you might have them, and how they are similar and how they're different. So let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, how are you? If you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I just want to let you know that all of my socials are in the description: my Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Redbubble, and Patreon if you'd like to support this channel. Also, I just want to remind you to smash that like button, turn on notifications if you like to see more LGBTQ+ content from this space right here. So let's get into the video. So gender dysphoria is defined as clinically significant distress or impairment related to a strong desire to be of another gender, which may include desire to change primary and or secondary sex characteristics. Not all trans or gender diverse people experience gender dysphoria. I just want to remind everyone that you do not need a medical diagnosis to know that you have gender dysphoria. I know a lot of people think that you do, but you really don't, and especially when it comes to things about yourself, you know yourself better. Take things that medical people with a grain of salt, because there is a lot of gatekeeping in the trans and non-binary community in that area. Now, there are different kinds of dysphoria that someone can experience. There's physical dysphoria, social dysphoria, and mental dysphoria. Now, I do have a video explaining those kinds of dysphoria and the signs that you may have them in depth on those. So if you want to check it out, it'll be somewhere up here. Somewhere on your screen up here, it'll be there. Some signs that you might have gender dysphoria are getting uncomfortable because your body doesn't match the gender that you truly are. This could be in the form of chest dysphoria or hip dysphoria. I get dysphoric about my hand size and my head size. I think they make me look feminine because they're smaller. I know for AFAB people, it could be the amount of body hair that you have or how muscular your shoulders are depending on your physique. Things that just kind of physically define the sex that you were assigned at birth can make people dysphoric. Another thing that can make people have gender dysphoria is people dead naming them or putting them in social situations that they have to perform the gender that they were assigned at birth. And also, dysphoria can manifest in depression and apathy and just unease and a disconnect between yourself. I know that for me, when I'm having really bad gender dysphoria, sometimes I genuinely feel like I'm just not connected to my body at all. And it's very weird. It's an interesting thing to experience. Every trans person is different and will have a different relationship with their dysphoria. Not every person will have the same kinds of dysphoria, or different ones will show up on different days in varying amounts. Some trans people will only experience like mental or social dysphoria, and others will have physical dysphoria. It just kind of all, unfortunately, is a big mix of like gender stuff that it's like, well, this is fun and I hate it. Now, as for body dysmorphia, it's defined as a mental condition in which you cannot stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance. A flaw that appears minor or cannot be seen by others, but you may feel embarrassed, shamed, and anxious that you may avoid many social situations. Now, body dysmorphia can affect any part of your body, but some of the most common ones are your face. So a lot of people will get it about their nose, about their lips, about their eyes, ears, blemishes on your face. It can also happen with your hair. So if you think your hair is thinning or you have a fear of going bald, you like check to make sure that that's not happening. You can also get body dysmorphia about your chest size or how muscular you are, how thin or big you are, all of that fun stuff. Some signs that you might have body dysmorphia are being extremely preoccupied with a perceived flaw that you might have that other people can't see or appears very minor when you bring it up to other people. Having a strong belief that you have a defect in your appearance that makes you think you're ugly or unattractive. Thinking that other people see your appearance in a negative way and will mock you for it. Going to extreme levels of trying to fix or hide what you perceive as your flaw or defect. A few examples of that are checking the mirror all the time, making sure that you look okay, attempting to hide this flaw with clothes. Body dysmorphia can also bring on comparing yourself to others and making sure you're up to par with them so that you can feel more secure in yourself, which could result in you frequently asking and getting reassurance from other people. All of this wrapped up can really hinder a lot of things. I know that body dysmorphia is not something that's fun to deal with. Is not a fun thing to have at all. I know it stopped me from doing things, and I know for me it was really a damaging thing when I was younger because I was so obsessed with how I looked and other people perceived me, and just wanting to be as skinny as possible. Not healthy, and it can also make you just not want to be around other people at all, which again isn't healthy because people do want to be around you. So yeah, body dysmorphia is not fun. So now that we all know what gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia are, I'm going to be talking about how they can be the same and how they are different, so that people who are questioning whether or not they have gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia, or maybe both, can tell the difference to kind of figure out what you're actually experiencing. So for me and other trans and non-binary people, gender dysphoria is the feeling of discomfort around your gender. So anything that is thrown at you because of the gender that you were assigned at birth, and all of the expectations and all of the shit that comes with that, when you're talking about gender dysphoria, that is what you're kind of talking about. So for me, what causes me to have gender dysphoria is getting misgendered, getting dead named, getting called miss or ma'am out in the world randomly. I also have chest dysphoria and hip dysphoria. I can get dysphoric about how high my voice is. Like I said earlier, I get dysphoria about how small my head is and how small my hands are because I feel like they make me look more feminine. I can also sometimes get dysphoric about the gestures that I use or my laugh because I'm like, oh, that's a woman's laugh. I get dysphoric about anything that is perceived to be feminine because I was assigned female at birth. So anything that disconnects you from your gender is gender dysphoria, versus body dysmorphia, which is when I see my body in a distorted way that is outside of gender. So any flaw that I think I might have or that I perceive myself as having, that's body dysmorphia. So going into a get to know Lynn better, when I was a kid I was a bit heavier, and when I was about 14 or 15 I lost 60-ish, I think it was 60 pounds from the ages of 14 to 15. And to this day, when I look in the mirror, all I see is this bigger version of myself that logically I know is not the case. And because of this, I have a really hard time perceiving my body the way that other people do. So the reason why a lot of trans and non-binary people have a hard time telling the difference between gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia is because they can sometimes present themselves in very similar ways, especially physical dysphoria and body dysmorphia. Both can be very focused on what you perceive is wrong or what you're uncomfortable with your body, and not really feeling like you can change anything about it. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes they genuinely do go hand in hand. So when both act up for me, when I look into the mirror, all I see is a plus size woman. I just want to clarify, there is nothing wrong with either of these two things. Your boy is out here dealing with internalized fat phobia, which I didn't realize I had for a very long time, and I am working on it. And unfortunately, my brain tells me that that's something that's wrong with me, and it's really not. And as for looking like a woman, I get gender dysphoria from looking like a woman. So I just want to say there's nothing wrong with either of those things. It's just when my brain wants to mess with me. So I know that I have both gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia, but now I have the language and the ability to be able to tell the difference between which one I'm actually feeling. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and learned a little bit more about body dysmorphia versus body dysphoria. Let me know in the comments down below what helps you be able to tell the difference between the two, or if you experience only one or the other. I love hearing about different people's perspectives on both of these things, so be sure to comment down below. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!